All right, well, that was very awkward, but now that we got the bike on the stand to where it's not gonna fall over, I'm gonna explain to you guys exactly what I'm gonna be doing to this bike. Give you guys a little overlook on what this bike is looking like right now. So it's got the Surron motor, and then we got the Surron controller, which has an EBMX controller cover that goes over it. On my TikTok, we're on part 5, I believe, of this build, and we wrapped up the forks and put up these controller covers on the side. We are also going to be putting on this Motocutz plate that actually has a graphic on it. And what we're going to be doing is venting it out. I've already ran to the hardware store and got the mesh that goes behind there. And I don't know if I'm going to bolt it in yet or glue it in yet, but we'll figure that out once I get done Loctiting everything on the controller. All right, so I'm giving you guys the best view possible here, but this is a controller with the mount on top, and it's just a piece of metal that you can get at the hardware store. It's flat just like this, and I put a crush washer, 2 crush washers on for each, and then the bolt goes through the metal and then through the metal on the controller, and then I just bolt it on. So that goes up here, and it bolts into the original bolt holes from the stock controller. So I got some blue thread locker here, and I'm going to be thread locking all the bolts that go into the controller because I don't want anything getting loose. So the bolts that I'm using to bolt the controller bracket on the top here are just normal Surron bolts. Like, these are for the actual Surron controller, and they fit in the stock holes on the frame on the Tuttio. All right, so I made the light a little brighter just so you guys could see. And what I'm going to do first is put my phase wire bolts on and connect my battery leads before I put the controller on, just so it'd make it easier to put everything together. All right, that should be good enough. Maybe not. All right, yellow's in. Now let's get the green one. Scooch the controller over here just so it'd make it a little easier. Just like that. And then green goes to green. Get that tightened up. Now lastly, blue. And then I think next we're going to do the battery leads. Just make sure they're snug. All right. So now we're going to be doing the battery leads, and this is pretty simple too. Red goes to plus and then black goes to minus. So let's get these on. It's minus and that's plus. We're going to go with minus first. Make sure she's snug. It's good. Then we're going to go with red on the plus. If I can find the other bolt, right here. Put that on. Make sure it's snug. She's snug. Now, next step is going to be mounting the controller on the frame. All right, so this part's going to be pretty easy. Like I said, at the hardware store, you can get this piece of flat metal right here, cut it the exact length as the frame is right here across, and get some Surron controller bolts, and it should fit right on. And then for the bottom right here, these 2 flaps, again, same thing, flat metal. cut it the length of the controller. And yeah. So it is going to be a little harder now that there's wires on it. There's going to be a little bit of tension. It should be pretty easy. Let's bring this up here. Try not to scratch the paint. And this wire's right there. Ooh, that's pretty difficult right there. All right. Now that we got the controller mounted up here, I'm going to take a little bit of Loctite and put it on this bolt right here. I preferably use blue Loctite because red is just, if you want to take the controller back off, it's going to be pretty difficult. All right, put this bolt in the frame. Should just fit right on. Probably going to use the normal Allen key for this one so I don't strip it out. And I'm kind of pushing the controller back so the bolts become loose and it's easier to get them tightened up evenly. So again, definitely don't want to tighten those up too much to avoid stripping them. Here we go. So one thing that I like that I did is I put this blue Loctite on these two bolts that like to strip out. And the Loctite is going to prevent me from tightening these bolts up too tight, which is good. So next step is to get these bottom bolts that hold the controller on. And these play a huge role in making sure the controller sits where it's supposed to. A bit of blue Loctite. And just line this part up right here. Screw her in. These, you can tighten these down pretty well because these are like the Surron controller bolt holes, and these things are made with like quality. So you don't really got to worry about stripping these. Although you kind of do, just make it tight. All right, so I'm just going to show you guys real quick. This is what it's looking like on the inside. Got our wiring harness wires right here, and then the two battery leads, which our breaker is going to stick underneath there somewhere. So what I'm going to do with this is kind of put it on like this halfway, and then get some masking tape and highlight out the number 1. So then we can make clean cuts right here and put that background metal mesh, which I'll show you guys here in a sec. All right, so this is going to be the metal mesh that I'm using. You can get it pretty much at any hardware store, and the real name for this stuff is actually like gutter guard, something like that. Pretty sure that's what it is, but we're going to cut out the holes and pretty much just put this as the background. All right, so I got everything on the floor here just to make it a little bit easier, but I'm going to stick the graphic on and outline it with tape. All right, so we got it taped up to exactly how I want it. We got it outlined out. So what I'm going to do next is get the Dremel with the angle grinder attachment on and just go and follow the lines, and it should come out pretty clean. All right, so we got it taped up to exactly how I want it. We got it outlined out. So what I'm going to do next is get the Dremel with the angle grinder attachment on and just go and follow the lines, and it should come out pretty clean. So 1,000 years later, we finally got the Motocutz plate cut out. So now all we have to do is get the metal mesh here, and I'm going to paint it silver for the background. I think it would just look cool and match the bike. So let's go get this cut out and let's go paint it. All right, so we got the plate up here. Both pieces are painted. So now all we have to do is just put them on the back here and glue it up. So I am using hot glue to glue this up. If any of you guys are going to make a vented front number plate, I'd stay away from the super glue because the super glue does color defect things, especially if it is black. Remember, I tried venting a black front number plate, and I used super glue, and then it left behind like a white residue and just totally ruined everything. I got you guys facing the bike. throw her on. Get rid of the glue strings. I do have to zip tie this on later on, but just for now, give you guys a little overview on how the bike's turning out. That looks freaking sick. Leave in the comments if you guys think this build's looking sick so far. All right, so if y'all enjoyed that video, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you guys so much for 1K subs. It means the world. And I will see you guys next Friday on this epic Tuttio build. Bye-bye.